But so far, we've seen the same bans come in, Joe.
Yeah, Evelyn taken out once again there. They're not keen on having an Evelyn in the game. We can see that Lemon Nation got his notepad out. They've got a plan for this one, that's for sure. Vi going to be banned here by Gambit themselves. Renekton taken away from Darian. We saw how good his Lissandra was in that last one. Perfect engagements coming out of him. What are we going to see here then for the final ban from Gambit?
I think they're trying to force a Lee Sin again or an Annie right now, because if they're going to take away the Vi, which was a really huge threat, do you want to see Vi get through or Annie get through? And they're going for Shyvana. All right, so they're trying to, I guess, trick them a little bit, maybe try to get the Shyvana as well through that. But with that first pick, they can go for anything they want. It looks like they want that Annie again. Edward, I mean, there were so many key stuns during that game. There was a fight at Dragon, which you were commentating, and you said Edward got a 4-man stun. It was just phenomenal. It was so perfect. And it's so deadly because it locks you down for such a long time that allows the rest of Gambit to just get in there and focus you down one by one. And when they have the ability to do that, not being interrupted by anyone on the other team, they're going to kill you.
Yeah, Edward controlled 4 men of Cloud9 on his own in that Dragon fight. That was amazing stuff. Game number 1 just was overall an incredible first matchup for this series. But it's a best of 3, lucky for us, so we've got at least one more game to come. So what are Cloud9 going to go with here? They get 2 picks, of course, in their first round. Evelyn, Renekton, Shyvana were their bans. Shenvi and Elise also out from Gambit's side of things. Zed left open again. Will High go for that? Probably not so early on. And actually, they want to get that Jinx. Genja obviously playing it in that last game. Meteor sticking with the Nocturne.
Yeah, and I was thinking maybe a top lane pick, but Darian's champion pool and Ball's champion pool doesn't really overlap too much, so they're not really in a hurry for it. But Jinx alone, I don't know. I think maybe Sneaky's really comfortable with that champion because Genja can play pretty much anything right now. We've seen it over time. You know, he picked up Lucian yesterday. We saw him on Jinx just now. He's picked a lot of Varus Misfortune in the past, so he can play anything he wants. So maybe it's a plan on Cloud9 side. I mean, if you think about it, Nocturne can ulti, and you won't really see that super mega depth rocket coming in, so that could be a very key factor in their composition if they want to go for some dives here. But I think it will become more known when they pick a couple more champions.
Well, let's see. Orianna,
Orianna Annie is just so overpowered. It's so hard.
Alex Zich, we said, I think it was back in Moscow, we were like, yeah, Alex Zich is Orianna. We didn't get to see too much of it earlier on, mainly because he was playing the more assassin type champions in that mid lane. Orianna at this stage, without knowing what's coming from Cloud9, safe pick.
Yeah, and if you think about just working with Edward, I mean, we saw yesterday the Pola together, then this Bear Stun after that. You can hit 5 people, obviously, with it, and it does so much damage and so much control, which is really what Gambit used in Game 1. The control factor of just maintaining where Cloud9 can be, maintaining who they want to kill. I want to know what they want to run the jungle. And usually they don't kind of leave their jungler as the last pick, which is kind of odd for Gambit.
There's quite a bit banned out there. I mean, Vi, Elise, Evelyn, Shyvana, even obviously you can argue in there as well. Leaves Lee Sin open, which a Diamond Lee Sin is always an absolute beauty to watch. At this point, though, Cloud9 going for a very similar lineup. Rumble picked in there, and also the Lulu for Lemon Nation.
So the Rumble, it wasn't bad in any way. I mean, Balls hit so many perfect ultimates. He just had 0 farm at the end. I mean, I think he was almost doubled by Darian at the very end of it. He got controlled very well as they pushed the turret down pretty early on the top lane against him. But I don't know. I mean, I wasn't 100% convinced by it. They have an ability to chase really well with the Equalizer and the Lulu slows, but they also need a really strong mid laner, a lot of damage from the mid lane, and I'm not really sure what they want to go for. Maybe like an Ahri.
Lissandra Lee Sin here for Gambit to round
Lissandra would be a good combo. Obviously working well with Orianna. I'm thinking it's most likely got to be Lee Sin because there's no reason for him to play Udyr right now.
Yeah.
Look at you.
Lee Sin and Lissandra. Seems like it's going to be the case here for Gambit, and it's not really that much of a surprise. It's not as if you know, it takes a genius to call those two after how they played in the last game. The fact that Lee Sin is, if you look at the bans, probably the obvious choice there for Diamond as well.
And just like you said, we know how strong Diamond is on Lee Sin, and he has a mission to prove, which makes it even scarier. He wants to show everyone else that I'm better than Meteos. Game 1, he did it very well. Can he do it again though on Lee Sin when Cloud9 know how dangerous it is, and they opted to not ban him out this time?
Oh, we'll find out. That's the danger with Genja, with Diamond, that you get rid of his Evelyn. We saw it in that last game. He's like, oh, I'll just play Vi and that'll be fine then. And I'll end 5-0-15 or whatever ridiculous score he had by the end of that one. And again, the Lissandra, so well played by Darian in game number 1. Let's see what Cloud9 round off their lineup with here. We saw High playing with the Z in game number 1.
He can really play anything else. Riven, it might actually be a legitimate choice. Like we said in game 1 in the picks and bans, Alex, not a huge fan of Riven going up against her. And this might be a very good or bad thing. As we saw, yesterday, we saw SK playing it against Copenhagen Wolves, and Jess just kind of got shut down by Azira. But I guess we can argue a little bit different caliber with these two teams, but it's still going to be very hard for High to get an early advantage. But once he hits level 6, once he gets maybe like a Brutalizer or some sustain in lane, it's going to be very hard for Alex to deal with that.
Well, we're going to find out here. Gambit Gaming leading 1-0 right now in this best of 3. And, of course, the spot in the final is up for grabs, where either CLG or Fnatic will be waiting for them. That best of 3 semi-final will be coming up directly after this. Then we'll be going over to the amateur tournament final, which will be Ninjas in Pajamas versus Copenhagen Wolves. Amateur tournament is what we're calling it. Final doesn't really seem that way. And then we'll end the day with a best of 3 for the pro final here at Intel Extreme Masters Cologne. Next week we'll do it all over again in Singapore.
Yeah, we will. Actually, I can't wait. Singapore is a really great place, but the games that we have coming up for us today are just ridiculous. They're on such a different level right now, and the compositions we have going in here, Diamond kind of doesn't fit completely with the whole comp, with that Lee Sin, but I don't think it really matters. They always seem to make it work, and that pressure he puts out early on is really nothing you can shrug off.
Well, you have to wonder what else he'd possibly go for. I mean, Jarvan maybe would fit into that, so he can get himself in there.
Jarvan would.
Diamond, he's never been the biggest fan of Jarvan. He's never played, a routine Jarvan in the jungle. I mean, he likes the Evelyn's brought out Karma, of course. Udyr is not scared to break out, but
oh god, Karma! I forgot about that for a second there.
Well, I mean, Karma, you'd be probably
didn't really work the first
a
game.
bit too much magic in this lineup if they added Karma in there as well. But we are going to be finding out here in just a second how this one all goes down. Darian will be ruining on that last great performance and hoping that this time around he can add a couple of kills into a great performance as well. But we're going to be finding out here as we jump into game for match number 2 between Gambit and Cloud9. Gambit now over on the blue side with that 1-0 lead, and we can look at the start there. We see that Rumble and Riven both starting with those Door and Shield here at the start.
Yeah, and it's going to be very needed because obviously they're both melee champions, so they can be harassed really well with auto attacks. Gives you the block, gives you the regen, which is really going to work out, especially if you pair that in with any lifesteal or spell event, which High does have some lifesteal. But as we saw in the first game, Gambit did such a great job, or I should say Diamond in particular, did such a great job of counter jungling and controlling Meteos. I want to know, can he pull it off again here? Because that's what kept him so out of the game. I mean, he used, I think, one ultimate to gank, and that was at the tier 2 turret pretty much 20 minutes into the game, and we were able to pick up that kill on a Darien. But they can do it again. That's going to mean Meteos will be kind of controlled, and they need those ultis. They need those early kills.
Well, a 10 start to things here once again. A lot of pings going down from Gambit there. Just letting them know that there's probably a ward right there. Darian spots the second one coming in onto the blue buff as well.
And it looks like Gambit definitely investing quite a bit here towards this top side. I guess they assume that, or obviously any team would know this now, is that Diamond will start red most likely. And they want to be able to keep that blue. They want to at least keep their own 2 and be even, if not get 3 over onto Meteos, who is just kind of sitting middle. It looks like he wants to go for invade here. And we already see Genja bottom. I don't think he was spotted by that ward. Edward was just spotted though, and he might come up here to really support this. They don't want to let this buff go.
This could be an incredibly interesting start. Lemon Nation, Meteor, Sneaky all headed around the top side. As soon as Darian sees that, the other 3 are going to loop around here. And there, they do see it. Alex Itch is going to be coming in as well. Darian here is moving himself back now that they've got that vision. Diamond dived right in there on towards Sneaky. Alex Itch here coming around the side. This is going to be a lot of damage from Gambit there onto Sneaky, less than half HP. But Cloud9 are not finished here. They're moving back in onto this one. There is a flash, and there is a stun across them from Aaron. First blood comes in. High going to get knocked back. He manages to get the kill. Will they stick around and fight this one out? High going very, very low. There's a lot of damage coming onto him, but he's still alive. He's managed to get away. Flash has been burnt all over the place. Diamond goes down. And Lemon Nation falls as well. 4 kills here at level 1. I thought we might slow down the pace. There's a cancel. Edward not quite got the damage.
How was that a heart attack there? that was crazy. Level 1 action from both teams. And we saw yet again, Gambit was able to stall Meteos from doing anything right there. I mean, you could argue in the same sense that Diamond now won't be able to get a buff anytime soon, but he has 2 assists under his belt, which Meteos only has 1. So that gives him a nice early advantage. He goes for a ward here. And also, Alex returning to lane with another Doran's ring. That is going to be really hard to deal with if you're high.
Look at the summoners, or lack of summoners, I should probably say at this point. Not really much left across the board. Edward, that flash stun that he pulled down there, we talked about him both before, during, and after game number 1 because of how well he executed that, and he's done it again here. That's what really got that fight started off for him. And
they were so tunneled in that area that it was allowed to hit that stun across multiple people. In the meantime, Genja and Balls were like, what's happening up there? Because they were just sitting down there farming away. So that would give Genja a little bit of an early level advantage and also a CS advantage, which he's currently 15, well, now 16-1 in.
Yeah. Going to be very interesting how that one all pans out. This mid lane as well, obviously, First Blood. Actually, who did pick up First Blood in there? I can't even remember after that one. It was Alex that picked up First Blood, of course it was. Hai did manage to get himself a kill as well. Did go and get away from it as well, so he didn't fall after that. And Diamond comes in. There is a red buff there. It's just slightly invisible at this point.
Yeah, I was about to say, did he counter jungle? Yeah. But I don't remember seeing that happen.
Confused me as well for a second, but red buff is there. Diamond's going to be taking that one away.
And you're seeing Hai right there. He's doing fairly well against Alex. He's able to harass him down quite a bit, but eventually Alex will get to the point where he should be able to take Hai on before that level 6 point. And right now, with all these summoners being down, the junglers should be so excited and so ready to start ganking, as we're already seeing Meteos come up to this top side, which he just did in that last game. It looks like they want to force Darien away, maybe take an early turret yet again. Same time, Diamond's doing the same thing bottom.
Got a level in the claw already, and we just saw him using it to push that wave out. And the funny thing is, Diamond's not going to be spotted here coming around, so he's going to be actually out in the open. And because of the fact that Darien's alone in the top there, they realized that that was going to happen. Actually goes off to the ward. He's got the red buff on here as well, Diamond. Lands the Q as well. Has he got the damage to finish off Balls? At least bait out a flash. No, neither of the two. Balls will just back off.
Very smart play by Balls to just get away. And he didn't even have to use that flash on top of that, so he was able to secure those. But in the meantime, we're going to see one tower traded for Cloud9, taking the top one. And Gambit, they're going to go for Dragon.
Yeah, moving straight in for this one. No messing around on their front.
This
Alex
could be bad,
coming in as well. Yeah, they might lose another turret.
Exactly. Cloud9's still pushing that top end. They're going to get the Dragon. Yeah, but they lose out on so much with that turret being down. They lose out on control over their blue buff too. But can Darien stop it? I mean, if he can hold them off, this is going to be a huge win for Gambit.
Oh, flash in there. They're going for Darien. That was...
I think
a little bit hasty from Meteos, yeah.
I think he just wanted to make sure he was out of lane, make sure they can get this turret, but he's still sticking around. He still wants to keep them off this, and he's able to defend the turret. So Gambit coming out ahead in that trade, have a little bit of a gold advantage here, and a very smart play. They didn't want to take the turret just yet because they realize Genja is stomping Balls right now. 39 CS to 6.
Certainly is stomping Balls. He's continuing to push back in towards his turret. Half HP already gone. Darien trying his best to clear out those minions as fast as possible. And here comes Diamond on Lee Sin around the side, and just the sheer presence of him is enough to force Cloud9 completely away from that.
Well, so he's got to make sure he can get every single CS he possibly can right now. I mean, like I was saying in the first game, he doesn't necessarily care about how much CS he gets early on, since he depends on that ultimate to really lock down these fights. But against Gambit, I mean, it was shown that last game, he needs the farm, he needs the items. And right now, Midas hasn't backed away just yet, hasn't gone back to get anything built. He's sitting on 1,200, almost 1,300 gold. I'd be surprised if he goes for that Spirit Stone. But right now, the Summers are coming up again. Meteos is level 5, approaching level 6. We should see some ganks happening soon. And Diamond, again, game number 2. Counter jungling Meteos as much as possible. He realizes the threat of him and just takes him out.
Yeah, taking the Wolf Camp. And his bottom turret now under pressure from mainly Edward. Genja's not really doing a lot to help out with that one. And, well, with that duo lane coming down from Cloud9 after their exploits in the top lane, they're able to keep that one safe.
And speaking of the top lane, Darien, he isn't pushing the lane out quickly. He's actually leaving at his own turret. He's making sure it stays on his side of the map so he can keep Balls starved of money even more. That is a very smart play out of him to really do that. And that means Balls got to roam around. He's got to look for kills somewhere, or look for farms somewhere else. And if he obviously goes to a different lane to take some CS, he's taken away from his teammates. So overall, a fantastic play by Darien.
Genja holding that lane out as well. Yeah, Meteos now is moving in. He's not quite level 6 though. That could be
spotted by a ward though.
Bit of a hindrance to him. And yep, that ward is quite far up the lane, so he's going to be spotted.
It's funny because Diamond used it to fight balls, but in the end it's working out well to see him where he's coming with those ganks.
It was
he meant
all
to do that.
Calculated.
He's going to see it here in a second when it does disappear, most likely. He's trying to counter jungle Diamond, though. But Diamond still, he's doing what he did in the first game. He's farming as much as possible.
I mean, because they've spotted that one, you see Genja and Edward already backing off from it. Not wanting any piece of that one. Meanwhile, this mid lane being fairly quiet considering the explosive start that we had from them. Alexic picking up the first blood, of course. And there you see his game 1 statistics with Kha'Zix. 12-4-4 he ended in that one. 207 CS, not really a number that sounds impressive, but that's because there just wasn't a lot of CS in that game.
Well, he was leading the game in CS, so that kind of shows you too. And right now, Mia's going to be able to get his blue. He's going to have level 6, so he can start to make these ganks happen. I want to know which lane is he going to go for. Darren is looking like a possibility up there if he combines with Ball's power to keep him slowed and to pick up that fear and the kill, but also middle. I think they want to control Alex because if an Orianna gets going and really gets to that point where you can do a lot of damage, your ultimate will be so devastating.
Oh. This could be really bad up top. Now they spot Nocturne coming across, but are they going to know? Sneaky, meanwhile, down in this bottom lane going low. There is a super mega death rocket coming out. Has he got enough damage to kill Edward? Surely he does, and he will pick up that one. Genja here starts to back away. Meanwhile, Nocturne ulti comes in. They're going on towards Diamond. Darian has got very low as well. Think they should be safe to escape from this one, though. Not sure that they'll be able to catch up with them. Or with a flash, they may just, but they turn around. They take down Balls, but High there doing a lot of damage. Diamond will back off. High decides not to fight with Alex coming up from the mid.
And with a 3-man gank coming in right there, Gambit able to trade 1 for 1, but in the meantime, Genja, he might go down bottom.
He's stuck on the trap. That is bad news, but it's Lemon Nation tanking up the turret. Sneaky, not quite got the damage in there and decides not to chase.
I am surprised he didn't die on that one. He was just staying there waiting and biding his time, but able to stay alive. Turret might go down though, but Diamond is heading down towards that bottom side, so he should be able to keep it alive himself. But so far, 10 minutes in, a lot of action happening, not a big gold difference, and it's only 3 to 4 kills currently.
Diamond just headed down there, but that ward in the tri-bush, they spotted him early enough and backed away from things. Meanwhile, in this mid lane, Alex continuing to pick up the farm. He's currently sat at 86 to the 71 of High's Riven, which you'd expect at this point. Fact is, though, High's got 2 kills under his belt yet to die. Brutalizer pickaxe in there already.
That makes him so hard to deal with if you're Alex. He needs to invest into Seeker's arm guard, which he is building towards right now. And Alex, he was the number 3 gold per minute earner back in the summer split at 373, and it's showing yet again. He's always farming if he's not ganking or getting kills. He's always doing something, and it's always working out well for his team. But right now, with that 2-man push on the middle, he might be a little bit of trouble here.
Doing something is always a good thing to do. I've generally found out. So it's a life lesson right there. Jason Kaplan special. So, push down the bottom side here from Riven and from Rumble. Again, just like, nope, not having any of that one. But they're going to lose their turret for it.
And they might lose Dragon soon too. It is up in about 30 seconds. Cloud9 doesn't have the exact timer on it, since Gambit did take the first one really early on. They do have 3 men here. They have Darren and Alex middle. And if they can just stall them long enough, Gambit's going to get middle turret.
And they will be able to stall them. Going in, first of all, on towards Lemon Nation. Diamond connecting with his Q. This tower is down, but they've got to run. And Alex going to give himself command protect. And Lissandra moving away, obviously, with the claw, able to escape.
Oh, Darren.
Why? Not quite sure what Darian's plan was in all of this.
I don't know if he had a plan.
I don't think he had a plan, or certainly his plan seems to have come back a bit in him, but that's how it happens sometimes. He puts his ulti down anyway, even though he's going to die and he wouldn't have gotten any kill. But I suppose he's biding time for Dragon for the rest of his team. Well, that's a calculated play from Darian. That's how Gambit play.
Is that your story?
I'm giving him the benefit of the doubt.
I don't want to give him the benefit on that one, because right now it's a 5-1-4, and we saw Cloud9 not use any ultimates right now from that. So Gambit, they have to kind of back away mostly. They can try to contest it as High does go middle and pick up a little bit of farm, but I'm not sure what Darren was doing right there.
If Gambit were quicker, they could have got Dragon there, though. There were 4 men chasing Darien to pick up that kill. He used his ultimate and everything. He's probably like, guys, take Dragon. What are you doing? This is why I'm dying for you. This is how this works. Currently 0-3. Got himself that Seeker's arm guard in there now with the Sorcerer's Shoes as well. Alexic already building up that tier. Seeker's arm guard and also working himself up to that Rod of Ages as well.
Yeah, he's using that same build he used against the Red yesterday. Going for more of a tanky Orianna just to survive the damage that Cloud9 can put out, and trust me, they can do quite a bit of it. But Gambit, they want to be the ones to engage here. I mean, they have a ball delivery system in the form of Lissandra and Elise Sin. And Darren, he's going to go straight for that zone because he wants to be able to have that gate engage happen and then still stay alive.
So, Dragon not quite picked up just yet. And there's good old Quick Shot. He's back again.
He spelled everything right this time.
He spelled everything right, so good job, Quick Shot, for that one. And you guys can do the same. Obviously, we do filter them, so your troll tweets don't get there. Apart from Quick Shots, apparently. He gets 2 in 2 days. Famous.
Right now, we do have most of the action happening towards this Dragon. It looks like both these teams really want to contest it, want to take it, get that extra gold for their side. Because no one's even dealing with that top lane, and right now the wave is currently pushing. And Dime, he's going to go for the steal, he gets it!
Wow.
No, he doesn't,
no,
sorry.
He doesn't.
A little too excited there.
But speaking of getting excited, Cloud9 coming in from this one. Darien actually going to get caught out from it. Does put his ulti down onto Elimination, but does literally no damage to him. And Gambit might get cleaned up from this one. Diamond kicks like balls, knocks him into Meteos as well, but 3 from Gambit backing away. Alex is coming around the backside though. A good shockwave here could change everything. High going very, very low. Where is the shockwave? Decides not to use it in for that one, but surely it's going to come out. There it is, and it misses everyone. Not the good shockwave that he was probably looking for. And now we see them turn around. Balls as low. Will be finished off in the end. Meteor's low. Everyone's low, damn it. But where's the finishes? It's Sneaky coming in. Gets the movement speed. Edward flashes over. Sneaky flashes in. It was a little bit awkward, but Edward still being chased. Zap will get the double kill.
Everyone low is the true tale of that story right there. If that ultimate did hit off of Alex, I really would have... Actually, no, it couldn't even hit right there where it was, but I wonder if it did go down perfectly, could they have picked up quite a few more kills? And that was such a great job by Cloud9 to say, hey, we have him out of position. We know Alex is middle. We're going to go for a fight here. And with that, they take the Dragon, they take the gold lead, and now they have this great advantage in this game.
I feel like I cursed Alex somewhat there, a little bit. Darren here coming around.
You're like, wait for it, it's going to be a good one. It's coming.
It was a good one, and it was literally the worst possible outcome from it. He got a minion.
At least he
so
got
I
some
suppose
CS.
he didn't get nothing. No, he didn't kill a minion.
He didn't even kill a minion.
He just flung a minion in. Didn't quite kill it off. So Alex certainly pulled off better ultis in his life, that's for sure. But
that's the
leaves
downside.
us with Cloud9 8-5 up in kills. But the gold is not really a massive difference. There's 1,000 between the two teams, and Cloud9 having taken that Dragon and have one more turret up just shows you how close it's going to be. It's going to come right back here with Darien on the bottom.
Yeah, both these teams are doing a better job of farming this game and keeping it a lot closer. The only big difference is Darien and Balls, and that was just pretty much due to Balls going 1v1 against Genja in the bottom. But right now, he might get caught here. He's looking for a gank on a Darien, but he still has Genja in hot pursuit.
He might just go in and try and kill Darien as well. That's certainly what he's aiming for. And this one, again, a little bit messy. High, the one that's taking all the damage, will throw down his ulti. There's the super mega death rocket coming from the back. High still chasing down, but he will fall before he gets the kill. They turn onto Sneaky. He's a dead man. The shutdown coming in. This is another kill coming down for Genja. A double for him. And just like that, Gambit pick up 3.
And Darren, great job by him yet again to just kite as long as possible, trying to keep High away from it, allowing the rest of the team to come in from the back. And Cloud9, with the advantage they just had, have lost it. With that little bit of a player right there losing those 3 members, they just lost completely that advantage. But if Meteos can get this turret, it will even things up back just a little bit.
And I think he will, with that Siegeman in there, able to tank things up. And he's going to speed off as quickly as possible from it as well. And again, chasing down Darien. European teams learned long ago that Darien is just the bait on the end of a very, very scary hook from Gambit. The rest of the team is usually right there behind him.
If you don't catch him between your own turrets, then he probably has a team behind him, most likely.
Exactly. If he's not in your jungle, almost in your base, then
then you know there's a team behind that. But just overall, I mean, these teams are playing really well. Cloud9 has been able to kind of spot a weakness within Gambit, really picking them apart when they start to rotate. Then yet again, Gambit being in the right position against Cloud9, catching them when they just kind of took the bait as they reeled them in. And I really want to wonder, how is this game to continue on, though? We do have High getting that Ravenous Hydra, so he has a great AoE damage on top of just being Riven alone. He's also 3-2. So he can put out quite a bit of damage. As you saw, he almost took Diamond and Darien down himself. He just didn't have that extra oomph he needed.
Look down and kills well. Edward, I mean, we've come to expect that by this point, that he's always got a couple of kills on the board. It's like at 2-2-2 at this stage. 2-0-2 for Genja. Moving in. Not really got that spike yet that he needs, but that'll be coming in soon enough. Rod of Ages finish for Alex. Not really much for Diamond in the jungle. Obviously, he went in for that Sightstone so that he could have the wards available to use, and, you know, get in there at the back, kick him back into the team and what have you. He's still having a big impact though. Yeah, I mean, even the wards he uses, like we saw earlier on, to jump around, work out for their team. But right now, High, he's trying to push bottom. He's trying to get some more CS here. But you saw Gambit. They were ready. They wanted to go for the gank right there, and it all comes down to all the ward coverage they have. They can spot where Cloud9 is and work around that. And, you know, Meteos, again, hasn't had much impact in this game with that ultimate. He's been shut down very well with the whole level 1 that happened with him being delayed, with Diamond able to get both of his buffs. He just still hasn't been really proactive in making kills happen. But right now, High, he's seen by that ward, and we have 4 members of Gambit here. High, they're going to take him down from this one. The ultimate comes in, and that was an easy kill. Stood right on top of a ward. Thought he was being clever catching out Genja. In the end, comes back and bites him.
Yeah, that was really unfortunate for him. I mean, I understand what he's trying to do, pick them apart one by one. But you cannot afford to die like that. Dragon will go up in about 2 minutes, but the kills are just being given over. Diamond able to pick up another kill for himself. He was already doing quite a bit of damage with just that Doran's Blade alone, but he's going to get more scarier than that now.
That is that. Yeah, that Trinity Force, which is, as you said, the spike. Are they going to go for a fight now? I mean, if you look at Baron, this is interesting to compare it to the last game. That I remember saying at 25 minutes, I think, or 24 minutes, because I even said it wrong. There were no wards whatsoever at Baron. This time around, things very, very different though.
Yeah, it's very true. That's a really good point, Joe, because, I mean, Gambit, they realize the game is very close. They don't have as much control over Cloud9 as they had prior. So they want to make sure that Cloud9 doesn't go for anything sneaky. And I remember hearing this, I believe it was out of Rivington saying during the summer split that Cloud9, like on average, I think it was halfway through the season, they finished games in 24 minutes. Like the fastest team in North America, and I believe even here in Europe. So they want to make sure that that's not a possibility. And it's a very smart play by Gambit.
Well, I'll tell you a secret. They're not going to finish this one in 24 minutes.
You say that.
I say that, and I'll probably be wrong with that one as well. Although I wouldn't mind, because a third game would make me a very happy person. Dragon is coming up here in 40 seconds. Cloud9 already doing a little bit of scouting out there, making sure that one's clear. And High's like, Elimination, use that, or come down here and just see where that ward was that caught me out and made me die earlier on.
It's really weird to see is that Edward and Elimination have different build paths, kind of, where Edward's going to go for a little bit of damage with that Haunting Guise. He also doesn't invest into an Oracle early on. He didn't do it last game. He's not doing it again. And he's just trying to build that little bit of extra damage that can make him so deadly, where Elimination, he wants control of the map. He wants to be able to see where everyone is going, and it's worked out well for Cloud9, but right now, if Edward keeps building damage and Gambit keep getting these kills, that Oracle's not going to really mean too much.
Well, it's perfect timing, at least for a Dragon, and as it spawns in there, that ward does go down. Gambit start to collapse back in. Cloud9 are there as well. This could be the next big thing.
This is prime position, though, for Gambit to fight if Cloud9 do want to group up towards this Dragon because of the combo they have with Lissandra going in with the stun. You have the ball delivery system, but we do see some damage being traded here as we see Darien going in.
He is going to go in, but is he going to go through? There's the Cullen doing a lot of damage to Meteos. Elimination takes a blast from Genja as well, and he's got the ball on his head. Not exactly your normal ball delivery system, that's for sure. And Gambit, they've just won position right there without really any troubles.
But Meteos, he was going back. He's actually going to stay here in Gambit. They could have pushed the turret if Meteos did fall back, and Diamond did spot that, but now Dragon, they're looking at it like, hey, Meteos down to half health. We could probably go for it here. And it looks like they might make that happen, yet Meteos is still sticking around. They want to contest this. They don't want to let this slip away.
We have to watch Edward go up there to Edward because he's getting ready. He's got his flash up, and his stun and Tivers are available. Let's see. Last game, he managed to control 4 men from Cloud9 at the Dragon fight. There is the smite out. It's Diamond that picks that one up. Are they going to fight? There's a shockwave again, hitting nothing, but there is Edward, and another 4-man stun coming in. High gonna get the ultimate onto him. Balls is going very low. There is the kill at the backside as well. But Sneaky, he's still full HP. They've got to finish him off. They finally get him out of the fight. And Genja chases in. Darian dodges in as well. And that will be a kill for Darian, his first of the game. Lemon Nation escaped. Balls did escape as well, and that will be a 3-for-1 with Dragon going over to Gambit as well.
And say hello, Europe, because Edward is back. That was ridiculous yet again. He's like a Sona on an Annie, but he does more damage. He's landing these stuns left and right, and Cloud9, honestly, that was a great fight for them in the beginning. You had High in there on 2 or 3 people with this Q spam constantly doing a lot of damage. You saw Gambit escape with barely any health left on a couple of people. It's just they didn't have the extra damage they needed to finish that one off.
Incredible again from Edward. Seems to be having a lot of fun and feeling comfortable in this Gambit team.
Maybe it's because he's playing like champions that he wants to play, you know? Because he hasn't been forced to play Sona just yet. That might change though.
It's probably in his contract actually.
It's like, don't make me play Sona.
To play Sona ever again.
I can see the photoshops on Annie's face now already happening for him.
Oh no. The Sona one did enough damage to us all. Please do not Photoshop an image of Edward on Annie. Alright, that's already encouraged a few more thousand people to do that. So let's talk about this top lane, because both Darian and Genja there, Cloud9 sending 4 men up to that top side to stop that push.
Yeah, see, what happened in that last fight was that we saw Balls put down the equalizer to cut off Gambit, to cut off like a retreat and split them in half. But even though it worked, it kept them slow enough for High to get in there, it just wasn't enough. The rest of Cloud9 didn't have what they needed to jump on top of them. They didn't have the ability to get Lulu in there and get that knock-up onto people, at least the ultimate alone. And because of that, Gambit were able to survive long enough, were able to retreat far enough, mitigate quite a bit of damage, and turn that one around. Things still can't change. Like, Cloud9 still can win these team fights, but if they keep letting kills slip over, eventually Gambit will be so far ahead in items that it'll be really hard, almost impossible to come back from.
Clearing up everything that they can there. And the Oracles, we mentioned that earlier, a little bit different between these two teams. It's Diamond that did the same in game number 1 for what brief Oracle time we really had there. It was just a fighting game, basically. There's the blue buff actually going to be picked up. I didn't quite see where it was picked up there, but Meteos is going to dive into this one. It was Alex, I think, that got that blue. Where is the shockwave? He's playing around with it, waiting for the right time, but High dives into the middle of him. There is a shockwave, gets 3 of them, but can they get away from this one? Alex taking a ton of damage. Diamond going to go low here as well as Alex falls down, and that will be a double kill coming out for Sneaky. The final one picked up by Meteos, and Cloud9 turned back around, and only 2 men surviving that one from Gambit.
And this time in this fight, they got the equalizer down perfectly, and they were able to collapse on top of it. They were able to finally follow it up, and with that, they pick up those 3 kills. Cloud9, phenomenal play. Yeah, they easily could go for Baron. They have the people, they have the health, and only Darian and Genja are there to stop them, but that was so well done. They made it so Edward couldn't get a giant stun onto the enemy team with a flash engage, and they come out ahead. They might come out with Baron on top of this.
Oh, balls. Oh, wow. He's actually going to go down here. Genja picks up that one. He's now on a rampage, and they've stopped doing Baron. They've done enough to stop this Baron attempt, but will Cloud9 turn around and go back in for it? No. They find it too risky at this point, and I think that's the right call as well. However, they need to be careful, because if they leave this one completely as Edward gets hit by the Baron, putting a ward down, doesn't like vision. Well, how would you like it if someone had vision of your house, Jason? You wouldn't.
They would see some weird things.
I'm sure they would, but none of them should be delved into onto this stream. Thank you very much. Gambit here are, in fact, now just pushing straight up that mid lane, and why not? They've seen that Cloud9 have backed away from that one. In fact, I say it's Gambit, it's more like just Genja that did that.
He's being very aggressive. I mean, you even saw at that blue buff, which kicked off that fight, he was the one to get caught and eventually into a fear by Meteos. But Cloud9, I mean, we're 26.5 minutes in. Gold is pretty much even. Kills are pretty much dead even here. Turrets are very close. And right now, it's really anyone's game. Cloud9 did such a great job of getting back into the game when they were losing team fights constantly. They were able to turn just one around, and that's all they really needed, because look at Sneaky's score. 6-2 right now. Genja 4-5. The AD carriers are really stepping up this game.
So, a bit of a quiet period maybe. We've got Dragon coming up here in just over a minute's time. Lemon Nation being chased by Edward, who might get in trouble. Actually, they've stunned him up. Sneaky's dead. Completely caught out. He was like, yeah, I'm going to kill Edward. That'll feel good. But actually, he ended up just dying.
It might cost him a lot,
though.
That
was a little strange. Meteos is doing the red buff on Gambit's side. High is actually down, pushing the inner turret, and Gambit are just going to go rampaging straight through the mid.
Yeah, with Meteos backing away, he's going to be able to finally get back and help, but without an AD carry, without the AD carry who has all the kills basically on the team to be here, they're going to get an inhibitor off of this.
Yeah, Equalizer going down, but that's only going to get rid of the minions, and we can see the pushing. Genja going very aggressive once again. Doesn't get feared, and they're going to take an inhib from that. That's a bad decision-making overall from Cloud9.
It really is, and you know, Gambit, we always say, give him a finger, they'll take the whole arm. They punished Cloud9 for having sneaky overextend by taking an inhibitor. Now they have the opportunity to go for a Baron whenever they want to, or just to kind of split push. And with this Oracle, they're baiting him at ball. He's going to check it.
Oh, he doesn't need to. They're just going to go straight in for him on that one. We see the flash away. Meteos going in at the back. Darian waiting. He wants to get his ulti off, and he is going to get it off onto High this time. Meanwhile, Diamond being forced away. There's a two-man shockwave. They're Culling blasting through there. That's a lot of damage, but they focus in. High going to go down. Genja absolutely beasting them there at the back as Diamond comes in again. Everyone's really low again, but Genja is cleaning up this one. Sneaky uses the barrier. Genja dashes in. Triple kill. Catch my breath. Lemon Nation headed up towards the top here to get away from them. They're not going to push past that one. Meteor survived as well. And I say they're not going to push. Alex was having a bit of a luck, but Lemon Nation able to speed off. And Genja, considering how out of position he was at the start of the inhibitor there, when he just dashed straight into him, no problem, he handled that fight so well.
He really did. And the thing was, we have to think, that was a Gambit engage. They went straight in for that, but Cloud9 were able to turn it around, pick up those kills. They got him really early on. But because of the position of Genja, just like you said, because of Alex being so tanky right now, they were able to stay alive long enough, allowing Genja just to go to town on the enemy team. And from that fight alone, he's now 705, Joe. 207 CS. His items are getting to the point where it's really ridiculous, as he was sitting on 2,500 gold. Picks up a Last Whisper free of, well, not free of charge, but at once. And right now, Cloud9, this is going to be very hard to come back from.
New addition to the shop. If you do well, you get a free Last Whisper. Best offer of the century.
It just costs you gold.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Diamond with that Oracle clearing out, and Pink Ward was basically a waste of gold at that point. Diamond here. And the rest of Gambit setting up for a dragon. 30 minutes almost into this game. Yeah, that was a good decision to put the ward down. Hidden vision there of that blue buff. Does he have his smite available? No, not quite. So that blue buff should be taken away, and will be. It's Alex that picks that one up. Meanwhile, Genja did the dragon all on his own.
He's so strong right now at this point that with Cloud9, if they don't focus him down, well, the question is, who do they focus at this point? Alex is going to be doing a lot of damage with that blue buff up. Darren's going to be providing a lot of control, and then to even get to Genja, you have to pass through an Annie on top of that. It's going to be very hard to get back into that side, and Genja, he's taking full advantage of that. He's playing his positioning so perfectly, and with Diamond coming around from the backside here, Cloud9 either have to fight or give this one up.
Yeah, oh, Darian doesn't follow through there on the claw. Diamond actually being hit here by Meteos at the back. This is a bit of a personal jungle fight there off to the side. The rest of the team saying, just leave me alone, leave us alone. We just want a 1v1, see who's better right now. Meteos actually did more damage in that one, and Diamond deciding to back away. But Gambit not doing the same here. They're going to wait and see if they can siege down this inhib.
Oh, Edward, his flash is going to be up very soon. He's even got, I believe that's a distortion enchant for the flash cooldown, and he has Tibbers up. He's looking for another flash stun here. It's going to be a little bit harder to do in this base when they can spread out. But either way, this middle wave is pushing. Meteos is going to clear that one out because he has the ultra to get available. The Equalizer coming in, but just to keep them away and off this turret. They don't want to let this one fall.
I have to say as well, Balls has been very quiet these last two games. This game certainly a lot more present than in the last one. Couple of good equalizers, but just overall not had the impact I think that Cloud9 really need out of him, especially with this Rumble.
And when he does actually make his presence known in the fight we just saw prior, like, he can really make this thing happen. But the fight breaks out here. Genja getting chased.
Yeah, they're going in towards Genja there at the back. Darian using the ultimate on himself, but look at the damage and the shockwave coming out of Alex Siege. High's gonna fall here. They've absolutely obliterated them, and Genja pushing in onto the backside. Alex will steal that one away, and there's the flash in from Edward. Didn't quite have the damage to finish that one off, but this is going to be the game here. Gambit have those super minions coming up the mid lane. They're going to take down the turrets. Only Lemon Nation left standing. Gambit Gaming going to continue the Cloud9 European curse and win 2-0 to go into the final of the Intel Extreme Masters here in Cologne.
And that game was so well played. I really have to say both teams played that to a top level, but Gambit coming out ahead, constantly catching Cloud9 in bad positions, catching high early in the game, catching sneaky, which gave them inhibitor, coming out ahead right there. But both teams really showing that they're the best of the best in their region.
Such an incredible game there. Yes, it didn't go to 3 maps, or 3 matches, technically. But to be honest, it had all the action in it anyway, didn't it, from 2. And I just want to special mention to Genji, because the old passive, boring Genji that was always reliable, they've thrown him out the window here, it seems, and brought in some new Genji that's maybe sometimes a little bit too aggressive. 9-0-7 he ends that one there with Lucian, playing Jinx in the last game. A player here who was very much stuck in his ways, I think, in terms of champion pool, and didn't really like to venture out of his comfort zone. Always bought a tier on everything, which is not done at all so far this tournament. Picking up, Trinity Force, Bloodthirst, the last whisper here on that Lucian. 9-0-7, so incredibly well played.
And what's really funny is that in Intel Extreme Masters Katowice, when they played against the Azubus, he changed up his playstyle for being really defensive to aggressive. But then before LCS started, he went back to his old ways. He went really defensive, and it's nice to see him changing things up, playing aggressive, and just like you said, 9-0-7 score, he really helped his team out. The position, every single fight, it shows the true power of an AD carry late game. But the entire team, both teams, really well played from both of them. Really well done team fights. I hope they break some of those down, because they were really intricate in how they worked.
Yeah, and Darian as well. He managed his 1 kill. He got it in the second game. 1-4-14 he actually finished in this. But over the course of both games, his ultimates, the way that he set up these fights were absolutely incredible. This just looks like a Gambit that have been together for years. It almost looks as if the summer split never happened and Edward never went anywhere.
Yeah, they seem to be really focused. Maybe they're all really happy, like the mood, like we've been saying. Before the games, they're joking around, they're laughing, they're having a good time. Maybe Edward coming back, it kind of was like a sigh of relief to everyone, like, ugh, finally we have him back. He's playing at a top notch. He can't play Sona, as we see Xpeke apparently. Really enjoying that. But he's got to win it, though. Yeah, he's got to win it. He's got to defend what is European pride still at this point, because Gambit taking down Cloud9 puts Gambit into the grand final. After this, we're going to be going into our second semi-final. Xpeke's already got one hand on the trophy, but standing in their way is going to be CLG, who yesterday didn't skip a beat in their victory over to Quality Blue. And honestly, if they play like that today, they said it, Doublelift said it when he was talking to Carl, we have practiced a lot and we intend to do very well at this tournament. Fnatic, they've had the change both in the team, obviously with Reckless coming back, and also in the management team with Harry, their manager, actually leaving. So not sure what to expect from Fnatic, I have to be honest. There's a lot at stake in this game, let alone just the rivalry between Doublelift and Reckless, but Yellowstar.
That's going to be just amazing.
He has a bone to pick, because if you think back to Season 2 World Championships, he was on SK playing against CLG in that ridiculous teleport-in base race that happened, and he couldn't hold them off. Him and I believe it was Aranea playing Shen that game. And he's looked at that game that's haunted his dreams. I want my revenge. And
well, that and the fact that Doublelift called him, I think the words were shaky yesterday.
There you go.
I think that's more of the bone to pick for Yellowstar from that one. But that will be the best of 3 that's coming up in a little while. But first of all, I'm going to take a look back at some of the key moments of that game with Demon and Crepo.
Thank you very much. And wow, what